Texas women's basketball dropped an important game against Kansas State, how that will impact their tournament seeding, and Texas baseball has jumped out to a fast start this season. All this and more on College Crossfire.
I guess we'll get into it. Always enthusiastic, unbelievable, hard-nosed.
All right, let me explain why Aaron Judge is getting it. You can boo me all you want.
I knew Texas was going to win, and then one of the Texas team was going to lose.
Cammy. I don't like the Cammy.
Oh, you don't like this guy?
All right, I'm done.
This is all chaos.
Welcome into College Crossfire. Thank you for being here with us tonight. I'm your host, Jonathan Polasek. Let's go ahead and meet our panelists for tonight. We've got returning champion Steve Helwick. Steve, how you doing tonight?
I'm excited to be here.
Excited to be here. Man, a few words, but oh well. Up next, we got Matt Marinchak making his second appearance on the show. All right, let's hope it goes better than the first, wouldn't you say? All right. So. All righty. And then last but certainly not least, we have Clark Dalton. Clark, how you feeling tonight?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. All of y'all just have so much to say. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm glad to have you all on tonight. So let's just jump on in. The Texas women's basketball team only has 4 more regular season games remaining before the Big 12 tournament and the NCAA tournament. While Texas is pretty much guaranteed a spot in the tournament right now, their goal is a top 4 seed and the opportunity to host a tournament game. That makes the most recent loss to Kansas State all the more important. So what went wrong for Texas against the Wildcats? Let's start with Steve first. Steve?
Well, that top 4 seed that they wanted is clearly gone now, and I think Karen Aston even said that today. But it's huge because Texas just completely folded in the second half. I know they went in with just 1 point separating them in Kansas State at halftime and at the end of the third quarter. But in the fourth quarter, when you lose that period by 10 points and you fail to close out on shooters and Kansas State shoots 10 of 23 from three-point to end the night, that's just horrendous. And Texas couldn't buy a bucket inside after dominating from the perimeter in the first half because Danny Williams and Destiny Littleton were deadly from 3, and then once their shots stopped falling, they couldn't get anything inside. So the inability to adapt when long shots aren't falling really harmed Texas and their inability to close out on Kansas State's perimeter.
Yeah, for Texas to be an elite team when shots aren't falling from deep, they've got to be able to drive to the basket, or vice versa. If they can't get anything inside, then they've got to be able to hit from threes, and that's what good teams can do. They just didn't show it against Kansas State. Matt?
Honestly, the team fell apart. They lost a turnover battle. They were shooting 30%, something like that. And you blow a 14-point lead. They just weren't playing good basketball, and hopefully Karen Aston could get her team together and they don't blow the next 4 games. Like K-State, they can't beat K-State. 2 games in, they played them this season, 2 losses. They just need to figure out how to beat teams that are like playing better ball than them.
Well, they just need to figure out how to beat the teams that they are supposed to beat. Texas is a ranked team this year. They were a top 10 team at one point, and they're not beating the teams that they're expected to beat. That just hasn't happened this year. Clark?
Yeah, and in both losses, one of the common denominators is the spectacular three-point shooting from Kansas State. In the first game, they shot 57%. In the second game, they shot 43%. And Texas shot the ball pretty well in this game, but one problem was that turnover battle. They had 13 turnovers, and late in the game, they were only down by 5 with 1 minute and 14 seconds left, but they had turned over the ball so much that they hadn't built the necessary momentum to make a run that would have propelled them towards a victory.
Yeah, I think when you just turn the ball over that many times against a motivated Kansas State team, or any team really, you're not going to have an easy time getting the win, and Texas didn't, and they got the loss. So each of y'all, I'm starting off with 2 points. Moving on to the next question. As I previously said, 4 games left with 2 against ranked Iowa State and top-ranked Baylor. Knowing that, will Texas have a chance to be a top 4 seed come tournament time? And y'all can just jump in at any point.
Absolutely not, because the NCAA already revealed who the top 4 seeds would have been before Texas lost to Kansas State, and Texas wasn't even included in there. They still have number 1 Baylor and a ranked Iowa State team left on that schedule, and they lost to Kansas State, a game that they should have won, and the fact that they didn't win it, they just clinched not having a top 4 seed in the tournament.
Yeah, they're definitely not getting it. Well, for them to get the seed, they need to beat Baylor 2 weeks ago, and clearly they didn't do that, and they need to win the rest of their games. So they're not going to get it. They were never going to get it. They need to beat top teams like Mississippi State, Tennessee, but they've proved that they can't beat teams that are ranked ahead of them this whole season.
Yeah, and they've been 1-3 in the AP poll, and that's a crucial aspect of determining where you're seated in the tournament. I don't think this Texas team is a 4 seed quite possibly at all, because they have to face Iowa State, who's surging within the Big 12 right now and will likely be second over them by the time the conference tournament comes around. And you have Baylor, who looks like the best team in the nation right now. And that loss to Mississippi State was by 20-plus points. So that made it even look worse on their resume.
Yeah, Texas, they haven't had any of those season-defining wins, those wins against the top-ranked teams. They played ninth-ranked Tennessee. They played a ranked Mississippi State. They beat Iowa State earlier in the season, but like you said, Iowa State is now rising rapidly. They are extremely hot. Iowa State was included in the top 16 overall seeds in that first NCAA tournament reveal, so they could be a top 4 seed. And Texas, like I said, they got to play Iowa State, they got to play Baylor, and then in the Big 12 tournament, I don't think that's going to happen either. So, Steve, you're getting a point. Matt, you're getting 2, and Clark, you're getting 3. So the Big 12 tournament is coming up soon. How far do you think that this Texas squad will go? And like we said, we've got Baylor that's top ranked, and Iowa State that's just on a roll now. What do y'all think?
Okay, so assuming that Texas doesn't play Baylor or Kansas State in the first few rounds, they'll make it to the finals. If they play either of those teams, they're not going to make it past them. I'm seeing they'll probably be, if they don't play Kansas State or Baylor, they'll be second. But if they do, they'll be at best 4 seed in Big 12.
Okay.
I see this Texas team getting to the final as well, because even though this is a good Iowa State team and they're improving, they're 4-5 on the road, and I just don't trust them going into the Big 12 tournament because they're not the same team that they are at home. Texas actually has played quite well on the road this season. They're 8-1, so I think Texas can sort of sneak their way in there into the championship game, but I don't think they have what it takes to beat Baylor.
I don't think any team has really so far shown that they have what it takes to beat Baylor. I mean,
No.
Baylor even beat UConn earlier this season. They're number 1 for a reason. Steve?
At best, they'll go as far as Iowa State or Baylor allows them to go. So once they reach those teams, they're out. But we've seen even recently with better Longhorns teams, them bowing out earlier in the tournament to lesser competition. So I won't be surprised. I'll say they'll probably get a win, maybe 2.
A win, maybe 2. And so this Texas team, yes, they lost a bunch of starters from last year, Brooke McCarty, Ariel Atkins, 2 very important players for Texas. And they just haven't lived up to their potential this season. So would you say that Karen Aston is on the hot seat this year, especially if Texas bows out of the Big 12 tournament or NCAA tournaments early?
No. Her career coaching here, they've all been good seasons. This is the first year that's like their average. So she's fine. She'll have a few more years left unless they tank next year, but they're fine. She's not on a hot seat.
Absolutely not. This is a 20-win team we're looking at right now. In the last 3 seasons, Texas has been to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, and the Sweet 16 again. So it's nonsensical to take a coach who's having success but had some unfortunate mishaps this season. A lot of what's happened to Texas was out of Karen Aston's control and is not attributed to coaching. LaShawn Higgs went down, and that was crucial because it forced Sug Sutton and Danny Williams into roles that they're not used to, because Danny's not a great facilitator. Well, Sug's not a true scorer. So that sort of caused the team to lose their chemistry.
Steve?
This is crazy talk. Even if she missed the tournament this year, I would say that she's not on the hot seat for all she's done in past years. It's clear she's a great coach. Lost a lot of talent from last year, like Brooke McCarty and Ariel Atkins. And she's still number 19 in the nation in the AP poll. So she's coaching a really good team, and it's just crazy to even put hot seat with someone who hasn't missed a tournament since Texas hasn't missed a tournament as a team since 2014. They're a successful program every year. They're successful once again this year. Absolutely no hot seats here. No hot seats anywhere involving Texas basketball, men's or women's.
Yeah, I think her seed's really, it's ice cold. Yeah, they've underachieved a little bit this year, but she's had this team on the uprise ever since she came in. Her first year was her only mediocre year. Yes, you could say this year hasn't been that great, but it's better than what it was before she came in and took over this Texas basketball program. Before she was here, Texas basketball just wasn't very good. I forgot to mention this earlier, but since we're heading into break, Steve, you got 8 points. Matt, you got 8 as well. And Clark, you're leading the way with 9. That's it for now. When we return, we're talking about the NBA All-Star Weekend, and Manny Machado finally has a new home this upcoming season. Stick around. Welcome back to College Crossfire. Let's remind everybody of the score. We've got Steve and Matt with 8 and Clark in the lead with 9. Still anybody's game. Texas baseball finally began its season this past weekend, taking on the University of Louisiana. Texas took 2 out of 3 from the Raging Cajuns, with Bryce Elder getting the Friday start and pitching an absolute gem, earning him Big 12 Pitcher of the Week. Texas then went to Rice in Houston and came out with an 11-4 victory. Texas currently sits 3-1 with a very difficult schedule coming up, including top-ranked LSU coming to town next weekend. So what are your expectations for the Longhorns this season? Let's start with Steve.
They're going to be really good. I think probably Big 12 champions and College World Series again, because that is what they did last year. David Pierce already has his team ahead of schedule. He took over a team with a losing record, has improved each of his seasons, and already they're sitting at 3-1. Did well against Louisiana on the road, and then they beat Rice, a known baseball power, 11-4 in Houston in ugly conditions. Now it's time just to take it back to Austin, see what he can do there. He has a lot of promising prospects on his team. I'm really feeling Zach Zubia this year. I think he's going to be a very good player. Had a few RBIs last night, and I think Texas this year is going to really impress everyone with another College World Series appearance.
Yeah, Zubia could be really an important piece for this Texas team that lost their offensive leader in Cody Clemens and their rising offensive star, David Hamilton, who's out with the Achilles injury. So Zubia, his progression is going to be very important for Texas moving forward. Matt?
They're going to be a great team this year. Obviously, as Steve said, Big 12 champs. They're going to make it around further than they did last year. Like, they're really good in offense. 22 runs the last 4 games. They're 3-1. Beat Rice. Pitcher, Big 12 Player of the Week. They're a good team, and they're going to stay a good team. And baseball is one of those sports where you have one great player to win games. It's a team sport. It's on chance. They're going to be a good team. You don't have to worry about LSU and all of them.
Yep. Well, you don't have to worry about LSU and all of them. I'd be a little bit worried. LSU is the #1 program in the country. They also have to take on number 2. They're a top program. Stanford, Texas has to play a 4-game series with Stanford. They also have to go to Arkansas. They have to play Arkansas as well as A&M, and then open Big 12 play with Tech and TCU. It's not a cakewalk. The back half of the schedule sets them up for a little more success, but it's not going to be that easy. Clark?
As of right now, I hate to be the pessimist, but I think Texas is going to fall just short in the Super Regional. And look at the pieces you've lost this year. Cody Clemens, who was the Golden Spikes Award winner last year, and not having David Hamilton is going to hurt eventually because he's such a crucial player at the shortstop position. And additionally, I don't know if the starting pitching depth can handle the teams we're about to face. LSU's number 2 in the nation. Stanford's number 12. Arkansas defeated us 11-5 in the College World Series last year, and that pitching was one of our Achilles heels, and I think it could be exacerbated this season.
Yeah, Clark, I have to agree with you. You're getting the points. I just don't. The pitching is a little bit of an unknown this year. Yes, Bryce Elder was phenomenal in his first start of the season, going 8 innings strong, and like I said, earning Big 12 Pitcher of the Week. But kind of behind him, Blair Henley was projected to be that Friday night starter, and he hasn't looked so good so far this season, but there is time for him to turn it around. I do think Texas is going to take a little step back, so that's why you're getting the points. Moving on to the NBA All-Star Weekend. It's usually a time for players to relax and unwind during the course of a long season. But many players participate, whether they be in the Skills Challenge, the Dunk Contest, the Rising Stars Game, or the All-Star Game itself. All-Star Games may not always be the most intriguing events because players don't usually play with a lot of effort. But the NBA All-Star Game can be entertaining with the flashy moves and the jaw-dropping dunks. So how would you rate this year's NBA All-Star Weekend on a scale from 1 to 10? Start with Matt.
I'll give it a good 7.5. Great, no defense at all, but it was still a good game. You had LeBron, Giannis, Steph, Dirk. Who doesn't love Dirk? It was a good game. You had some nice dunks, nice plays. It was overall great performance.
Yeah, it was good to see the NBA just honor Dirk and Dwayne Wade that way, putting both of them into the All-Star
Kyrie
game.
recreated the iconic alley-oop with LeBron and Wade.
Exactly. That's just something that's going to live on in NBA in NBA fans' minds for years to come.
And for the first time this season, Harden didn't have to carry his whole team.
I think all Houston Rockets fans are okay with that right now. He needs a little bit of a break. Clark?
I'm going to give this an 8 just because of that Steph Curry alley-oop to Giannis Antetokounmpo. That was amazing when Steph bounced the ball up, But the only thing that would have taken this game to another level was if it was a little bit closer in the fourth quarter. I think great all-star games are where there's a little bit of a stake. And I wanted to see Giannis and LeBron kind of battle each other out like Kobe Bryant and LeBron James did in 2011, where Kobe blocked LeBron's shot at the end of the game. If we had that kind of one-on-one matchup, I think it would have taken it to another level. But it was a great all-star game.
Yeah, I think it really was. You had, I think it was, honestly, you had the big comeback from Team LeBron. They were down huge in what many NBA fans thought was going to be a blowout by Team LeBron early on, but Giannis's team just came out on fire, and then seeing LeBron and the rest of his team make that comeback was pretty impressive. Steve?
Jonathan, I'm going to go we rate dogs on this. 12 out of 10 NBA All-Star Weekend. There's no such thing as an NBA All-Star Weekend before 10. So many great events. We're going to start on Saturday night with Jason Tatum winning the skills challenge with a half-court shot. Well, I mean, what a move there. We got to see Trey and Luka go at it, two guys that were traded for each other in the three-point shootout. Joe Harris and Steph Curry, what a battle that was. They were just clearing racks and just hitting at a high percentage. The dunk contest, Hamidou Diallo's elbow dunk over Shaquille O'Neal. We got an unforgettable dunk. It wasn't the best dunk contest overall, but we got an unforgettable one. Then the game itself, you mentioned the Steph Curry to Giannis alley-oop, Curry's dunk at the end, the comeback by Team LeBron, Damian Lillard pulling up from half court, Dirk hitting rainbow threes, going 3 for 3, and the LeBron to Wade alley-oop. We had everything this weekend. It was just an excellent weekend. 12 out of 10 would do again.
Steve, I have to agree with you. You're getting the points because there were just so many great moments this past weekend, or this All-Star weekend, that honestly, and you touched on just about every single one of them. Jason Tatum pulling up from half court to win that skills challenge. That's something I haven't seen in my time watching the skills challenge. And then just being able to watch Steph Curry and Joe Harris go at it in the three-point contest, as well as just the All-Star game itself, was just something to watch and something to marvel at. So, Steve, you're getting the point. We're moving on. Manny Machado is officially off the market. The San Diego Padres signed him to a record 10-year, $300 million deal. Machado had multiple suitors in his long free agency, but ultimately decided to go with the Padres team looking to get back into contention now. While it may have been a home run for the Padres, did Machado make the right move going to San Diego? Start with Clark.
Absolutely not. Manny Machado has dived into the abyss of Major League Baseball. The Padres have not won a division title since 2006, and they haven't even finished second within their division since 2010. They don't have a lot of young budding stars that he can build around. So I think Machado's really going to struggle in San Diego because this team just can't put it together, a team that's even competitive within the NL West.
I'm going to have to disagree with you just a little bit because while the Padres may not have young budding talent on the roster currently, that farm system is absolutely loaded. They are going to be really, really good really, really soon. So you got to take that into account. Their farm system is, I think, the best in the MLB right now. See?
You said that the Padres are well set up for the future. I think this is an excellent move for Machado. One, he secured the bag. $300 million? That's unheard of. And he gets to be a face of a franchise rather than just being another Yankee or another Red Sox or Dodger. I know he has played that role on the Dodgers. But he's a face of the Padres, bringing so much interest to San Diego baseball right now. I think it's an excellent move for him. And he can lead a team of young stars in the future. And for once, I'm excited to watch Padres baseball.
Yeah, he gets to be the leader of that team and gets to bring San Diego to the forefront of the MLB. Matt?
Horrible move. I don't think he made a good decision because Padres are not a good team. The farm system, yes, they're good, but they're not going to be a good team until later down the road. And Machado is in his prime. He's not going to be in his prime when they become good. He's not a generational talent like Mike Trout, Bryce Harper. No reason they should have spent that much for a player like him. Like out of their $75 million to spend this year, $30 million is going to Machado. Waste of money for an above-average player.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I think it was a good move for Machado. He's got the money. He's got basically the tenure on the Padres.
He's not
now.
getting any rings.
He may not get any rings right now, but they have a lot of talent coming up pretty soon. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, Steve. You're getting the point, and that's it for now. We're moving on to break. We've got rapid fire up next. Stick around. Welcome back to College Crossfire. It's time for rapid fire, but let's go ahead and remind everybody of the score. We've got Steve sitting at 10, Matt at 8, and Clark at 10. Still anybody's game because in rapid fire, each question is worth 2 points, and you can jump in at any time. So the NBA All-Star Game has introduced a draft the last 2 years to try and make the All-Star Game more entertaining. Starters from the Eastern and the Western Conference, with the top vote getters from each conference act as captains. From there, the captains draft from the starters list before selecting from the All-Star reserve. If you were a captain, who would you pick with your first 2 selections? You can't select LeBron or Giannis, and just to refresh you, the starters were KD, Harden, Kawhi, Kyrie, Kemba, Embiid, Paul George, and Curry. We'll start with Steve, and we'll do a little snake draft. Steve, Matt, Clark, Clark, Matt, Steve. You can't repeat selections. Best tandem gets the points. So, Steve, who would you pick first?
Oh, I'm honored to receive this first selection. I will take the best shooter in the world, maybe even the best basketball player in the world right now. That's Steph Curry, who just makes offenses better.
Okay, Steph Curry. Matt?
I'll take KD.
KD. Alrighty. Clark?
James Harden.
James Harden. Alrighty. Clark, who would you pick with your second?
Can't pick a referee.
You can't pick the referee.
Okay.
No rigging here.
As of right now, I'm going to go with Paul George.
Paul George, okay. Matt, who would you pick with your second pick?
Let's go Joel Embiid.
Embiid.
Nice big man. Get some rebounds.
All right, and Steve, you got the last
You
pick.
took mine. Can I get healthy Anthony Davis, or does it have to be in this?
It's gotta be from one of the starters.
Oh, as
the
the
starting
starters.
list,
Oh, we can't
yeah.
pick the reserves. Let's see. From the starters, I will take.
So KD, Embiid, Harden, and George
All
gone.
taken.
You've got Kyrie, Kawhi, Kemba, and I think that's it.
I want to elevate the defense. I'll take Kawhi Leonard.
Take Kawhi Leonard. Okay. So as it stands, Steve Helwick's got Curry and Kawhi. Matt's got KD and Embiid, and Clark has got Harden and George. Clark's got a lot of scoring and some really good defense in Paul George. Maybe the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. Harden in the MVP race. Matt's got a bunch of size and shooting, and Steve with possibly the best shooter in the world, as well as one of the best defenders in the world. I'm gonna have to go with Matt getting the 2 points. Just that combination of size and shooting, I think, gives your team the edge over everybody else. So Matt, you're getting the 2 points, and we're moving on. Spring training games officially begin tomorrow. Teams have been practicing and getting ready for the regular season for a little while now. Teams are either in the Cactus League in Arizona or the Grapefruit League in Florida. Each team is scattered across either Arizona or Florida, but if you had the opportunity to pick a location anywhere in the world for a team to have its spring training, where would you have it?
Chase.
Anywhere.
So no disrespect to Steve, but like nobody wants to go to Arizona for spring training. So I picked Hawaii.
Okay.
They don't have any sports over there. They took away the Pro Bowl. Hawaii would be a nice place for the players to enjoy, go with their families and stuff. Nice place to play baseball.
Nice, relaxing environment, Hawaii. Steve, Clark?
I don't know if you could do this feasibly, but I'm going to say New York City just because that city seems to have a different relationship with baseball. No matter what, the love affair between New York Yankees or New York Mets fans is truly unique. So I think if you had an opportunity to bring the Yankees up to show the fans how they look before the season, it would be a true memorable moment for everyone who was involved.
Okay. So we have Hawaii, New York. Steve?
I'm for the kids. Let's do Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Williamsport,
You
Pennsylvania.
can get all the Little League World Series action there, all the kids going, and all the Little League teams. I'm going to do Williamsport.
All right, Williamsport. Steve, I'm going to give you the 2 points because I think that just brings some nostalgia in, and I think that's a great place to have the spring training games. So last question of the night. This will be worth 3 points and the win. All-Star games happen in the middle of the season, unless you're in the NFL, in which case it happens during the postseason. Either way, the All-Star games from the 4 major sports won't all fall on the same weekend. But imagine if they did. If each sport were to have its All-Star game on at the same time, which one would you watch and why? And this is for 3 points and the win.
NBA All-Star Game.
Okay.
Just because basketball is unique in the fact that you only have 15 different players. So to have the 30 best players in the entire world on each team is an opportunity that you never get. Football is more of a team sport, but basketball, these players truly get to show their individual skills that they're not able to display within a regular NBA game.
Okay. Steve, Matt?
You heard my question to the last thing. NBA All-Star Weekend. It's perfect. I mean, we get to see so much from just dunk contests to three-point shooting, and we get to see like slivets of dunks and three-point shooting contests in the game itself, with Lillard pulling up from half court, Giannis, and even Curry just showing off their best dunks throughout the game. I mean, it's just a great game overall.
Yeah, Curry had to make up for that dunk attempt where he slipped. So, understandable. Matt?
I'm going to go with the wild card here, MLS soccer, because they put all their best players
Okay.
against a premier English team. You actually have real competition going on in that game, not like NBA where there's no defense, not like Pro Bowl where no one's trying. Best one probably be MLS.
I like that. It's different, and you are right because it is an actual competition. So, Matt, I'm going with you getting the 3 points and the win. Do we have time for FaceTime? We do have time for FaceTime. Take it away.
Okay, so the Giants have the 6th pick in the draft. Don't pick Kyler Murray. Whatever you do not pick Kyler Murray. Take Haskins, take an O-line, D-line, DB. Don't take Murray. You don't know if he's 100% committed to football. He might change his mind 2 weeks in. He's just a toxic person to be in the locker room. Don't take Kyler Murray, please. Like, I don't want to disown the Giants as my team because of Murray. Like, I don't want to be a Cleveland Browns fan. Don't pick Kyler Murray, please.
Well, thank you for that. So, NFL teams, you heard that. Don't take Kyler Murray. And that is all the time that we have for tonight. Congratulations to our winner, Matt Marinchak, who obviously is desperately pleading with his team to not take Kyler Murray. And honestly, if Steve's Cardinals, they probably shouldn't take him either. But, you know, it's Cliff Kingsbury. He might. But again, congratulations to our winner, Matt Marinchak. Make sure to tune into our sister show, College Press Box, on Mondays at 9:30 p.m. And be sure to join us again next Wednesday at 9. Don't forget to follow at TSTV Sports on social media. And for all the panelists and everyone in studio and in master control, I'm Jonathan Polasek. Have a wonderful evening.